Awesome. Welcome. Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone to us talking today about I have a TWS member and we're going to talk about the experience that she's had in the membership. And this is my friend Shreyoshi. She is a copywriter and a case study expert. And actually, I have had the privilege of being able to see her work in action. And I am like, I was like blown away. So, like, I don't feel like I'm a type of person that gets like easily impressed. But her like brain and the way that she like works through her process and everything is like so genius. So I know that's not the topic of conversation, but I had to say that because I adore her. I love her and I respect her work so much that like I'm just so excited to have this conversation, and I'm really excited that she chose to be a TWS founding member and has allowed me to help her in the operations space to make things easier and more efficient for her to serve her clients, because that's really what like where her heart is servicing her clients. So welcome Shreyoshi.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. TWS is awesome. It just came at the right time, and I'm so excited to talk about my experience. Yeah, let's go.
Yay! Let's go. Okay. So, I asked the question a little bit earlier and kind of offline, like, again, one of the main purposes that we are doing this recording is really to have a transparent conversation about what you're using inside the membership or what you've used or what you plan to use. And then, like, how you're doing that and implementing that into your business. And then also talking through, like, what your experience overall has been as a member, and so one of the things, like just a couple of things that we touched on is I know you've used the SOPs, the relationship tracker, and the email. So like wherever you want to start, like let's start there. Like let's start with one of them and talk through like how you've used that and implemented in your business.
Yeah, I have to say, so this year I really took on the project of massively overhauling my business, and like redoing and rethinking how I do business, and that looked like a on the outside, like restructuring some of my offers, but also like on the inside of my business, like when I sit down to, when I sit down at my desk, I don't want to feel like a mess. I want to know like where my folders are, what I do, where do I, grab something where I need it, or really just, the part about when you get a new lead and you have to prepare a proposal. Like my proposals can be very extensive to grab all of that data from, like to feel not, overwhelmed about doing all of the things that we don't see like out there, but things that really need to happen. And they can really sometimes make you fall out of love from your business, like, and even if you bring in help, like for example, like I did hire a VA, and the only thing that I had sorted before this membership was my folder structure, and sort of naming my files. And the only thing that I would have her do is come in weekly and just do that. So but when I started building out the SOPs, it gave me so much clarity on what needs to happen step by step, like what I want to keep on doing, and what I can probably hand off to somebody else with, while knowing that things are gonna get done the way I want to do it. Like I'm sort of like a control freak. I need to know that
Total same.
things things are happening exactly how I want them to. So like having those down, like how I do it, this is how I want things to be done, and then having that element of trust that I can sort of, back away and things are still gonna get done. Like nothing's gonna burn down because I have them exactly where, and it's not just the SOP templates, they are not just, step one to step three. It has everything. Like, where do we start out with this SOP? Like, if you're onboarding, like, where do we, like, a specific action? Where do we, like, what are the tools that you need in this? So, it's a very comprehensive document, like, that makes it very easy to, if you continue to do it, like if I continue to do certain actions which I'm planning to, and if I'm going to hand it over, it's so comprehensive. Like it cut down training time for my VA. It just, because I had to redo all of my file namings, and in the inbox zero training, like I have like an SOP from that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's so cool. And it was so comprehensive. I'm like, it's magical. I've struggled with delegating because what do I hand off? Like, what do I hand off? Are they gonna, get done? Like, and that is like, these SOPs give me like sort of like a trust net, sort of like a safety net for me to like hand stuff off that I didn't really enjoy doing, but those that needed to be done anyway, and really like feel a lot more grounded in my business, like a lot like I feel a lot more joyful running things, that when I open up, click up, there are things that are, scheduled, like there are things that are cleared, there are things that have been done, and I didn't have to look at them. Or like, even if I have to do it, I know the exact step by step. So even if I don't feel like completing them today, like I know that I've moved through a whole lot, versus like feeling anxious in this void of like, oh, I don't do any part of it. Like, so that has been like amazing for me. And I think we have talked about this in our personal conversations as well. Like, I use these SOPs for my personal life a lot. I made SOPs for taking care of my dog, like, or having or going through like an overwhelming day, when I'm having like a very overwhelming day.
That was genius, by the way. Like,
Thank
I just
you.
have to say, like, the way that you thought about creating an SOP using the
Yeah,
template for
yeah,
if you're having an overwhelming day and the things that you needed to
yeah,
do, like as
yeah,
like a baseline for your business.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Take that
Thank
idea,
you.
y'all, and run with it. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
it's
Sorry.
it's really been so helpful. Like, I haven't used a couple of them yet. Like, for example, I've made an SOP for packing for vacations, or getting my house cleaned up when my parents are, or my in-laws are coming over, which is soon. So things that I need to do, people I need to contact, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just so amazing. A lot of things doesn't live in my head anymore. Like, I'm not worrying about them, and that has just been like a breath of fresh air for me. Like, I can just, whew, like, I have them out of my head. I have them written somewhere, and I especially love my SOP for my overwhelming day, because like, it can be those days that you don't feel like doing much. You're feeling uninspired, or you're not feeling very creative. It's not just at work. Um, it's very easy to drop some balls, and it's okay to drop some balls like on days like this. But like, if you have to take care of yourself, or you have to take care of people that then you at least move through the day and not be like, at the end of the day, shit, I didn't do anything. Like, when I look back at that, I'm like, I did it. Like, I did my best, and tomorrow is another day. And I have I'm so grateful for that, now that I have like a structure for making it happen, versus like, oh my gosh, it has been such a day and I can't do anything about it. And it really makes me feel more in control of my life. And also, like, for the business stuff that I set up, so much more, organized, so much more at peace, and so much clarity of like, ah, really, I was so embarrassed in the beginning of getting somebody to come in and do something in my business because, oh my gosh, it looks like it's a mess. I don't have any
Mhm.
processes. It's going to be an inefficient use of their time because they're going to, you know, instead of jumping into their core tasks, they're going to have to fix my shit. Okay,
Mhm.
which no longer is the case. Like, um, it's honoring their time, it's honoring their core skills, and really just it's so helpful. Like,
I
I'm
love
looking away
it.
how cool it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that came from the SOP template that you used. And
Yeah,
if
just
you're
one
not,
asset. Yeah,
yeah,
that's just one asset, my friend. That's just one asset, and that has completely changed my entire business. And there are more goodies. And I'm like, when I joined and then I got access, I'm like, I can't wait to explore. And I was like, oh my god, when do I use this and when do I use that? And it's so cool. It's the thing that, like, when you come across a problem in at work in your business, the templates, the resources are just there for you to just go and grab them. Like, um, whether you want to preempt something and set something up, like you don't want to run into a problem, or a problem that I was already facing was meeting people, having connections, but feeling overwhelmed on how to, like, just maintain that sort of relationship. And I've started implementing the relationship tracker, like I'm setting it up. um, that has been so life changing. Like, first of all, the statuses are genius. I mean, come on. It's like, we've talked about this also before. Like, what you don't know, you don't know. And
yeah,
like, oh my gosh, I did not know. Like, all of these things needed to be added, and things that I can update and do stuff with that. And I especially love the relationship status, kind of like a thing that you have there, and that really gives you clarity about where you stand with a connection. And
mhm,
you know um, be strategic while being warm. And and that's really everything about TWS and you. Like, it's strategic, it's warm, and it just feel good. Like, it's
yay.
that's
Thank
all
you.
I get from it. Yeah, I just feel so good about setting this up right now. And I'm also setting up the client master list, so that comes with the relationship tracker. And apart from like the whole indexing aspect of it, I got so much clarity about like which portfolio pieces I need to add to my website. I'm updating my website, and I was like, I don't have any cool stuff to update or add now. And like, when I was adding it, oh my god, like I worked on this and then I worked on that. And you know and that has been such a like cool thing to discover along the way. It also gave me, like, prompted me to have some open up some conversations about people with people that I've been thinking about contacting and I still need to contact. Like, just letting it sort of nest at the back of my mind, but not really do something about it, but having a sense of anxiety that I'm not doing anything about it. So I
Mhm.
have it right in front of me. And I had like a couple of great conversations. In one of those conversations, I got some like conversion data about a website that I wrote. So that was like a very welcome. It's a ripple effect of setting up the relationship tracker, I would say.
I
So I
love
was
that.
really happy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that and like following through like where it took you. Like, so,
Yeah.
and what Shreyoshi is referring to is within the TWS, there's trackers that are included with your membership that you can download. And right now they're optimized for ClickUp users, but you do have the CSV files in order to download them into and then upload them into your Monday or Asana or any other project management systems. But one of the things she pointed out that I wanted to highlight was the relationship type custom field. And I have built the tracker with, but there's probably like 20 custom fields, right? Like maybe like 15, 20. And one of them is the relationship type. So you can track like who's a client, who's a lead, who's a strategic partner, who has a podcast, who has, and they're in tag field because one person could have multiple tags, right? You can have different relationships and multiple relationships with one person. But
Yeah.
um, what you were saying is you used it to follow up
Yeah.
and then grab some information that you needed from your website.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about, this relationship tracker. And then with that, under kind of underneath the it's called the relationship management folder. Underneath the relationship management folder, you also get a client master list where you can start inputting the data for your clients and start tracking, maybe how long it took for them to become a client. You can track their information, keep notes on them, and it's escaping me what everything is on there. But but yeah, that's what she's referring to, and I'm so excited to like I said, hear you kind of like follow that through on like how you're using it. And
Yeah.
what you may not know watching is that actually at the time of this recording, tomorrow, what we do in TWS is we have monthly Q&A sessions, but we also have a monthly implementation party where I will gather feedback from the members to see what processes they're working on. And then I will choose a process to then map out and implement. But tomorrow, what we're doing is I'm actually going to walk through with my members how to set up the connection tracker and how to customize it for themselves. So when you are in here, when you are gonna join, that recording is already gonna be in there. You won't be live for that particular setup, but if you want to do it with somebody and implement the connection tracker with somebody, that recording will already be in TWS whenever you sign in. So excited for that, and thank you so much for sharing that too. One of the other things that you said that you started to use was the relationship canned emails, like the relationship management canned emails.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talk a little bit to that.
Yeah. So after my coffee chats, I'd be customizing, like each email, but which is great. Customization is great, and but I'd be like, okay, how can I do this more efficiently, and then not end up doing that at all. So as an introverted, highly sensitive person, a lot of interaction with people really sort of like drains my energy. But I do like getting to meet people. I feel like having one-on-one conversations is my jam, and I don't want to be disrespectful by not like following up, not following up in the same, by not being staying in touch like with people, like you just have a conversation and then you like sort of melt away kind of, and get so overwhelmed about getting in touch that you never share about like what you do, or in a way that doesn't feel gross, like here we met once, like why don't we work together. But so what I loved about your emails is I could just gently touch base with them and share like, here's my capability brochure, like here's my website that we talked about, sharing, like you said that you may have like a connection for me. And that's a very that feels very in integrity for me, instead of like coming out of the blue of not knowing what to say. Like I'm the kind of person who will who loves to write for other people, but when it comes to writing about me, and then especially these kinds of tactical emails, I'd either faff around or like just put something at the bottom of the email and not make it the highlight of like that email. And that would definitely dilute the impact of that touch point. So what your emails like they do is they help me like cut that cycle of procrastination of like I need to get this done, I need to get this done. I just have the template. Like I can customize it. I can customize it to our conversation. Then I
Mhm.
can plug in, and it's short and sweet, but it still has the goods. So
Yeah,
it just it's like it makes me feel very accomplished and not like I'm letting my connections melt away or just being disrespectful by not staying in touch. Like yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I did want to ask because we had this recent interaction with the TWS ticketing.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, like, in your words, like, what does the TWS ticket mean to you, or like, what is it to you? And then just talk about like how you felt or what the experience and service was like using the
Yeah.
TWS ticket recently.
Yeah. I think it's genius that you have a system like this. It's not like we are coming into a membership and, yeah, those are the goods. Use it, don't use it. Um, it's not that kind of a membership. The thing with you is you make sure that people get ROI from whatever you're selling. Okay, like in our work together, that is like different from the membership. Implementation was a priority, like because ops is nothing without implementation, and you carry that same energy in the in the membership, like with the Q&A sessions, with the implementation parties, and especially with the tickets. And for a long time, like I had no idea like what I could be asking for in that ticket, but I submitted it and I was so surprised that it was a personal resource for me. Like it truly is like having an ops specialist in your back pocket. I asked Alicia to help me with some things in ClickUp like that I couldn't figure out. Like I've been using ClickUp, but I wasn't using it like with like the full potential of it. And I got that video back from you and it was personalized for me and I was blown away. Like AI know how to use ClickUp in its full potential. Like I had zero idea about automations and how like what the power of it can be. But it was like speedy, it was customized to me, my business, and that was the how to ticket that I submitted two tickets. And the other is like the form fields. Your form fields are genius. I've been like when we met the first time for a coffee chat and I was filling out your form, I was like, whoa, um, this is impressive. Like that sets the base for our conversation. And gathers data, which can be again nicely plugged away into the relationship tracker. And I was like, I need forms. Like we need to collect data at different points in our like business. And from where I stand, like maybe a lead form or maybe like a testimonial form, like as an ops specialist you'd be able to understand like what are the different other touch points where we can gather data, like from the client end, from like our teams, or from like us our own observations. And pitch that as a ticket, and like that could be a potential resource. And I was just so blown away by your response. Like I'm just so touched that this is how high touch TWS is. Like you are seen in this membership. It's not just a thing that's static. It's like it's implementation focused, which is what I love about it, and the ticketing system is genius. It's
Yay.
thank you so much. Like that was
Oh my
amazing.
goodness. Thank you for being a
I
member.
was like the personal resource for me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel so special.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes. And what she's referring to is the TWS ticket is a link to a form that when you can fill it out, and there's different ways you can use it. In the way that she was talking about how she used it was one was to submit like a resource suggestion. So that's one way that you can use the TWS ticket because as she was working through her business, Triyoshi said, I think I need some forms in my business. So she submitted a ticket and put that idea. And I told her, done, it's in queue. So I told her that I'm doing a drop in August. One of those drops are going to be this forms that she requested. So that is one of the tickets. The other ticket was that she had a question, a how to question, like that she was struggling in with at the time, and it was like how to her how to question had to do with automations and ClickUp, and so that is how we answered the how to, and I created a video of like what it was and all that stuff. So those are the two ways that she used the ticket. There's other ways that you can use the ticket, but that is the a little about the TWS ticket and what you can do with it. And so I appreciate you sharing your experience. Yay.
Oh,
So
it's genius. Like it's it's so cool that I can just go in there and be like, I'm gonna get this part of my business organized today, or like in a week, and or you know, and there's this whole roadmap that you created because once you go in there, you see all of those resources and you don't know where to start. So there's this entire roadmap inside the membership that lets you know like what kind of systems you may need in your business, because my brain doesn't work that way. Like I could think of the basics, I could just be missing many things. And the thing how our businesses work is like if a part of our processes, if they don't exist or if they're incomplete, uh, they affect our experience as business owners, how we feel about our business. It can, the lack of certain processes, the tracking mechanisms, data, they can, make it so very difficult to run, like go through the day to day. And having these in place, without, if you don't have these in place, they can also sort of fundamentally affect the client experience if there aren't certain processes in place. And it, like, now I'm so happy that I can sort all of these things out. Like I actually know, like even if I don't have it right now in my business, then I know what's in queue, what's next. Like I can prioritize, depending on what's coming for me. And that is just so cool.
I love that. Love that. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think the idea with the roadmap too was that and you just touched on it at the end of saying like what you can prioritize depending on like where you're at in business or like what you're working on in business. Then you can go to the roadmap and see, okay, this is the type of system, or just get ideas on like what you
Yeah.
can create from it, right? So yeah, that's awesome. And so if somebody is on the fence about joining TWS, the infamous question, if
Yeah.
somebody is on the fence, like what would you say to them about your experience and about joining?
Don't be. It's nice on this side. There's clarity on this side. Like you don't have to wonder, like what do you need, how are you gonna do it? Like if you want to set up a tracker, like a which platform, or like what fields do you need? The fields matter. Like they matter so much. Like having data about our business matters so much. And it's gonna make running your business so much more joyful. And have that sense of, accomplishment, like I have the shit together. And like also it'll make like utilizing certain, contractors like VAs so much more efficient. Like you'll have your things sorted, so they can come in and be like, okay, this is what I need to do, and that reduces your training time for certain tasks. If like you've been feeling that you can't let go of control, like, which I understand so much, and but you don't love doing certain things in your business, and you're like, if I take a step back from my business, it's gonna burn all down, like, but that's not gonna be the case, like, like with certain systems in place, like which systems you need first of all, like how to customize them for you, and then be able to delegate, have like a delegation ready business, if that's like your next step. And it's like, because that's like a huge gap, I want to delegate, but I don't know if my business is ready for that. So TWS really bridges that gap. And don't be on the fence, like there's so much goodies here, like there's clarity on this. Just come to clarity.
All the goodies. I love
I
it. I
know
love it.
Alicia will make sure that you make it happen. Okay, so yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
it's not a investment that you just make, and it's just hidden away in some subscription like folder of yours, like that you never look at. It's something that you will use every day in your business, and that will make the back end of your business like amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's just gonna be so cool and so clear. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your experience today and just being like open about how you're using it and transparent. One of the things we talked about before we jumped on was that I really wanted to have a transparent conversation. I think um, when you said like it's not going to just sit in your folder, like that
Yeah.
is truly like what I'm trying to
Yeah.
not let happen, right? Is that you make this purchase and that you like just kind of store it away, right? There's a lot of communication that comes out about TWS. There's
Yeah.
multiple ways for you to get plugged in and reminded about how to use the resources within
Yeah.
TWS. And next, like phase 2 will be after this launch, I'm going to collect more information. And actually, Shreyoshi gave me a great idea about building out a community for us. And so, there will be a community aspect to this in terms of how you can meet other people in the membership as well. Of course, you can meet them on the lives and things like that, and kind of see here and there on social who's involved. But so that's coming too. But based on the feedback and where we all want to be, but yeah, no, I appreciate you, and I'm just so grateful that you're a part of the membership and that you were willing to share your experience with everyone here. So thank you
Of
so much.
course. Of course. I'm
Love
so
it.
grateful for TWS, and I'm so grateful for you. Like I said, like this is a no-brainer investment. It's like a thing that we all really need if we are in that position of, you're scaling but getting stuck somewhere because of processes and systems, because it's the non-glamorous side of running a business, but you do need them. Like a
Yeah,
business with one like solid structures that make it easy to scale, like on all fronts. And TWS is really bridging that gap, and I'm so grateful for you for like the ticketing system. That's like such a genius high ticket, high touch to support your members. I really got to say again, like, this is implementation focused. Like, that's the biggest difference between all other memberships.
mm,
Nobody else is following up with you to make sure that you get your ROI from from this membership. Alicia wants you to get things done. And
yes, and I want to
yeah,
make it easy, right? Like I try,
yeah,
and I'm listening. Like I'm
yeah,
have my ear to the ground to the members. So part of
yeah,
TWS too is, like I said, submitting the ticket for ideas,
Yeah.
resources that you need, and really, I want to make this great, and I want to make it, to your point. I'm so glad you touched on implementation. Sometimes you just don't know when you're creating things how people are going to receive it, right? And so I'm
Yeah.
so glad that, like, what I was trying to focus on
Yeah.
was simplifying systems implementation, and that
Yeah.
is, we're hitting the mark with TWS. So
Yeah.
I hope that you all join us. Join the party over here, right?
Join
Join
the
the party.
party. This has been made with heart. Like, uh, we have been in a mastermind together, and Alicia
Yeah.
has been talking about it for months on how to, make it like a beautiful experience for everybody who joins. Like, it has been done with so much heart, and
Mhm.
you're gonna feel it when you join. Like, I'm just not saying it like, you're really gonna feel it. Like, there's just quality resources. It's not just something that you come in. I'm like, meh, I could have thought of it. No, and also the warmth, the welcome, the heart, the energy. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you so much. And I will drop Shreyoshi's links down below if you want to get connected with her. Um, she's just genius. So even if you just get into her world by following social media, know what she's about, like, get into her world. And then I will also drop the link to TWS, and I hope that you join us. So thanks so much. See ya.
Yeah.